happy Monday. I haven't vlogged and actually uploaded it in a while, so my impromptu sit-down video came out yesterday, or uploaded yesterday I should say, where I basically A, apologize for not having a vlog up the past couple weeks, and B, just touched on a subject that apparently a lot of you are feeling. I feel like that is probably one of the most commented videos that I've uploaded in a long time, if not ever, and just the view rate was pretty quick, quicker than what's normal for me. So in light of all that, I had a pretty good weekend. I didn't do anything special, but it was good in the sense that I really did not do a whole lot of work. So I stayed up until about 1 o'clock in the morning on Friday, because I was determined to get all the things that I felt like I needed to get done to be on track with living a more balanced life in terms of work and my personal life. So I stayed up till about 1 o'clock in the morning, got things planned, and then that made it so that I didn't have to do a whole lot during the weekend. So that was great. My goal is that that should be the beginning of a new trend in my life. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm working ahead of the game in terms of being planned like a week to 2 weeks out, and just being more purposeful with my time. So hopefully at some point today when things settle down, I can kind of show you what I did and maybe talk through how I plan to accomplish that, because I know that that is easier said than done. So that's that. This week is parent conference week for us, so every day is a minimum day, so the kids are dismissed at 1 o'clock, and then we have parent conferences from like 1 to whenever. I think the latest ones that we have happen on Wednesday and Thursday, and we might have like a 5 o'clock and a 6 o'clock scheduled, but we do have one this morning at 7:30. This is, although I've done parent conferences before, this will be new because I'm having to share time with my partner teacher, and the time is very limited. I think what we decided to do is we booked 2 parents at a time, and so I will talk to one parent for about 7.5 minutes, and Jenna will talk to the other parent for about 7.5 minutes, and at the end of the 7.5 minutes we'll swap, and then we'll talk to the parent that we weren't talking to. That way we get to speak to every parent, and the parent gets to speak to both of us individually. I think that if we don't have 2 parents scheduled at the same time, then we could probably do the conference jointly. I'm gonna ask Jenna if she's okay with that, because we didn't really talk about that, because not every slot has 2 parents in it. So I'm not really sure how these are going to go. I feel like these are going to have to be more conversational by nature, because I only have 7.5 minutes. The district is on a push of not printing out progress reports and iReady scores, which is what we would have normally done and gone over with families. And so we sent an email out on Thursday or Friday, just reminding parents that it's conference week, and then asking them to familiarize themselves with their child's iReady scores and their progress report grades, so that we're not wasting some of the 7.5 minutes going over stuff that they really have had access to this whole time. So hopefully it goes well. I don't have a whole lot prepared. I don't have anything to give to them because I don't think that it's necessary. So hopefully I'm not wrong in thinking that, and that everything goes just fine. So that is what's going on. I just arrived to school. It's about 10 minutes to 7, like I said, or maybe I didn't say. Our first conference is at 7:30, so that gives me about 40 minutes to do what I need to do to get ready for the day, and that is it. So I will talk to you guys at some point today. I don't know when, because it's conference week, but I will be better this week, so I'll talk to you guys. Well, it's 6:37. Guess who is still in her classroom, much to her chagrin. That's a word I don't get to use often, so I took the liberty to use it just now. Conferences for us finished at probably a little bit after 3. So a while ago. So you would think I'd be home by now, but I'm not. And that's okay, because what I have committed to doing is I have planned out my week in such a way that I hope that it minimizes, if not eliminates, the amount of work that I do at home over the weekend. So as a part of that, I need to plan out my prep periods, because what has been happening is I've been using my prep period every day, which occurs from 9 to 9:50, to really like scramble around and make sure I'm ready for that particular day. I don't believe that to be the most efficient use of my prep time in the grand scheme of things if I'm trying to minimize how much work I take home over the weekend. So what I did is I said on Mondays, you're going to use your prep for copying all the copies that you need for the week. Today and this week is a minimum day, so my prep period was shortened. What did I actually do during my prep today? I can't remember what I was doing. Oh, I had some technical issues with a product that I wanted to use in class, so my prep was taken up dealing with that. So I had to make those copies after school. So I have made all the copies that I need for the week, and I just finished organizing most of them. Right now I'm stapling the last little bits because I need this for my universal access class tomorrow. I'm really trying to hit hard, I'm really trying to hit hard the concept of growth mindset in my universal access class, just to keep them motivated. So I am doing this, or I'm having them do this activity that I've done for the past couple years, where they really are just sorting two types of statements. Some are indicative of someone that has a growth mindset, and some are indicative of a person that has a fixed mindset. They have a brain that they color. They color the fixed mindset very plain, very boring, and then make the growth mindset side very colorful. So that is one of the independent activities that I have them doing when they're not meeting with me tomorrow during Language Live. Tomorrow will be the first day that we actually go through rotations, and I spent a whole lot of time organizing that Friday night. I don't know if I said this morning on the way to work, but I was up until 1 o'clock in the morning Friday, just trying to get my life together in terms of teaching. So I am here because I am determined to take control of my teaching life and schedule, and being proactive in my teaching and not reactive, because it doesn't feel good to be a reactionary teacher. It doesn't feel good when you're not walking in feeling like I got this down, or I got this on lock today. As far as today is concerned, it went well. Minimum days mean that we lose 10 minutes from every class period. So instead of having 50 minutes with the students for each class or each subject area, we have 40 minutes. And that makes for a challenging time. So in social studies, we talked about the beginnings of American culture. So I just showed them, I just made a quick Google slide that just asked them to discuss, what does it mean when you hear the phrase all-American? Like, what does that phrase mean to you? Oh no. Just a second, I need staples. Okay, got them. So what does the phrase all-American mean to you? I use a Kagan strategy called talking chips, where basically they have two physical chips. When they are ready to respond, they put their chip down to say, I'm getting ready to speak. They say their piece. Whoever decides to come after them should say something like, thank you for sharing, or I appreciate your response. And then they share. Each person is required to speak 2 times, and when all their chips are in the middle of the table, then they're done. So it was pretty interesting. A lot of kids said things like 4th of July, hot dogs, hamburgers, but I did have one student that was like, oh, I think it means, and then he like retracted his, or he didn't even retract because he didn't say it. He stopped himself. He's like, no, because I think that's gonna sound mean. And I said, just say it. Like, you know, I'm sure it's not gonna be mean. What is it that you wanna say? And he said, well, when I think of the phrase all-American, I don't necessarily think of people that look like me. He's a person of color. He is Hispanic. And so I said, that's actually like a thought-provoking thing to say. Like, I get it. So I told my class, in general, like, I don't want them to have a fear of like expressing their true like experience and what they feel like, because I think that's an important thing to point out, that for some people, when they hear the phrase all-American, they don't really find anything relatable about it. So I even said for myself, like, when I hear that phrase, I don't necessarily think of someone that looks like me. And I said that's not a bad thing. That's just like my experience or my interpretation of that phrase. So we started off social studies with that. Then we read just 2 pages out of the particular section that we're on that just talked about the Great Awakening and how that whole process started to develop the feeling of having a collective mindset or American culture. And then I showed them a video. I can't remember this history teacher's name, but he's pretty popular. I showed them his video summation of what the Great Awakening was. So that's what we did in social studies and language arts. My plans changed because I am trying out this new product that I'm super excited about from Read It, Write It, Learn It. I will be sure to link it in the description box. She does an article of the week with her class, and she really focuses on the concept of building their schemas and how to use that practice of building their schema as they're reading, specifically informational text. So I was planning to do current events with my class anyway, but I was going to do it on a monthly basis. And if I were to be totally honest, the hard thing about current events is just making sure your kids actually find articles that they could read and understand. So what I'm choosing to do with the help of this product is I show them the Week in Rap every Monday from Vocabulary. Seems like my kids really like it. One kid actually asked me today, because I hadn't played it yet, like, hey, are we gonna watch that video that you play on Mondays? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Week in Rap on Mondays, and then I'm gonna work to find an article that relates to one of the topics they discuss in the video. So in the Week in Rap that went out last Friday, they talked about social media and how there's a politician that's trying to put laws in place that kind of restrict how social media is used or marketed to people. So then I went on to Newsella and found a article on like social media use and its effects. So I let them know that we're going to start the article of the week next week, but that today the focus was on understanding what schema is and just talking about why schema is important. And this was all through the product from Read It, Write It, Learn It. So instead of doing the lesson that I was going to do on today, not on today, we did that instead because I kind of want to get that started. So right now, I am currently organizing all the materials that I need for my first day of rotations with Language Live tomorrow. And then I'm going to quickly wrap up because if you can see, it is starting to get dark. It's almost 7 o'clock at night. The good news is I think when I go home, I don't really have much work to do. So I'm going to eat dinner. I need to check my emails because I haven't done that. And then we're calling it a night. So, don't mean to talk too fast, but I know I vlogged a little bit this morning and I don't want today's clip to be super long, but all in all, I felt like it was a positive day. My first round of conferences went well. The only thing that Jenna and I need to work on is just the timing because we ran a little late with the couple, which pushed everybody back, but the parents are very understanding. But they go by really quick because we only have 7.5 minutes each to talk. So that's it. That's how my Monday went. Latanya is determined. Latanya is determined to take control of her life. Latanya is determined to be able to read a book for leisure in her life. So I'm working on it, but I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Here we are on Tuesday. I'm already vlogging in the car. When I vlog in the car, with the exception of Monday, it is really just because I'm trying to multitask by driving myself home and, you know, checking in with you guys in terms of my day. So it is about 6:30 right now. It's Tuesday. Overall conferences went well. I did have one conference, I'm not going to go into details out of privacy issues. One conference that was a little frustrating because I got the impression from this parent that they were really questioning like my intellectual level, that's Liza. Hold on one second. Hello?
How's it going?
Oh my God, I just felt like I'm back home now. I was talking to Eliza just now and venting. You know, it's fine. We've cleared the air, my mother and I was basically venting at the fact that she just told me at the last minute that the dogs have no dog food. She doesn't live here, but she spends some extra time here on Tuesdays because her and my dad carpool home and he comes back later. It's this whole thing. And so Riley is her dog, and I just feel like we're perpetually buying dog food. And she told me that they had not enough dog food to get them through the night. And although that sounds minor, when you are still in your classroom after 6 o'clock and you're feeling like you have all these things to do, that just is like the straw that can break the camel's back. And it broke the camel's back. So I just talked to my mom, clarified why that statement really just sent me into a shame spiral of sorts. We're fine. We're on better terms. If my mom is watching that, glad we cleared the air, because I know she watches these every once in a while. But I'm now at home in my room. I'm getting ready to find something to wear for tomorrow. This is terrible lighting, but we're gonna make it work. So tomorrow's Wednesday, and I think tomorrow and Thursday, the teachers at my school schedule later conferences so that we're not like there all by ourselves. So I want to find something that is comfortable. I think I was in the middle of telling you about a frustrating parent conference that I had. I just felt like the parent is like questioning like my professionalism or my ability level or just like my capabilities as a teacher, and that is frustrating. So that one was a little frustrating. It wasn't bad, I was just internally frustrated by that. So aside from that, the conferences that I had today went well. In terms of lessons, what I really wanted to tell you guys, just in the spirit of just keeping it real and being relatable to people out there that feel like my lessons are not always going the way that I want them to. This lighting is really, really bad. Ooh, maybe I can put you here where my shoes are. Hold on. That feel like, man, I had a terrible lesson today. I'm sure I'm the only one. Just to let you know that you are not the only one. My first rotation of Language Live was today, and it wasn't even that the lesson went bad. We didn't even really get into the swing of things because there were some technical issues with something I attached to Google Classroom, and that technical issue is that instead of scheduling it for 9:50 a.m. to be released, I scheduled it for 9:50 p.m. and by the time we realized that, it was just too late in the session because it's minimum day, so we didn't have a lot of time. And then a couple kids hadn't been grouped, and then I had this fear that the books that I had ready to give to students were not the correct books, and then time was up. So I'm sorry, I'm moving all over the place because this lighting is just, I can't. So essentially, I didn't get anything accomplished during my Language Live class day in relationship to what I wanted to do. So tomorrow's a new day, and we're gonna do our Tuesday rotations on Wednesday because that's what happened. So that happened. Language arts was pretty good. We did a quick Kagan activity called One Stray to talk about making inferences. I posed some discussion questions that I got from StudySync and just turned them into more of a cooperative learning opportunity. Basically, One Stray is they're sitting in their table groups. You call a random number. That seat number is going to stray and look for a new team to work with. You pose a question and then they answer the question with that team just to kind of give them a change of scenery. So we did that. And then in social studies, we talked about colonial government, mostly focusing on mercantilism and the navigation. Is it the navigation laws or the navigation acts? I think it's the navigation acts, so that they can kind of understand like where the beginnings of the grumblings of the colonists started to come from. Tomorrow we're going to do an activity that reinforces what we talked about today, and that was really it. These minimum days fly by, so we're not getting a ton done, but that's the nature of the beast. So I'm getting ready to find something to wear tomorrow. If you're interested in my process for that, I first look at the weather, and then I go from there. So tomorrow in Southern California where I'm at, it is going to be 92 degrees. So I take that into consideration, and I take into consideration what I'm doing for the day. Am I gonna have to be at school for a long time? And the answer to that is yes, because tomorrow is a late day. So I know I want something that's going to be comfortable and doesn't require me to wear wedges or anything like that. So I'm gonna go in my closet and find something to wear. And well, I don't even know if it's so many. Since some of you miss seeing that aspect in my vlogs, I just thought maybe I'd include a little chat about my process of finding an outfit. Today I just wore this denim dress. I don't know if you can see it, but it's just like a denim shirt dress that I got from Old Navy. And this, I don't know, every time I put this dress on, I'm like, is this cute? And then every time I get a lot of compliments on this dress. I got some compliments from Instagram because I put it on my Insta stories. One of the moms that I was having a conference with liked it. My partner teacher liked it. So just when you think your outfit's not cute, most people probably do think it's cute. So I'm going to go back in the closet, look for something to wear, and then I'll show you what it is, and that's probably gonna be it for today. So let me go. All right, so I have found something. Oddly enough, this outfit was put together because there are a pair of earrings that I bought for my birthday that I've been dying to wear, and I haven't figured out what to wear them with yet, and I think I have it. So it is these pair of earrings here. They're just hoop earrings that have like just different colors in it. And the other thing that I thought when I went into the closet is that I have this pair of olive green pants from Taylor Loft that I haven't worn yet. And so my goal was to wear those since I haven't worn those. It's all about rotation, guys. And so I thought about those two things, and then I looked and said, well, I wonder if I can kind of make these work with that. And I think that I can. So this whole outfit, I think I got these earrings at Taylor Loft. I don't know. But the top and the bottom is from Taylor Loft. So I'm just going to wear this white top. Let me pick it up so you can see it better. Just this white, very simple top from Taylor Loft. I am going to wear it with these pants. And the only question I have is that I do feel like I need some sort of like necklace on with that because it is so plain at the top. So I'm gonna see if I can find that, but if not, ultimately my lanyard sometimes serves as an accessory for me. And then the other thing is I'm not 100% sure what shoes I'm going to wear. So that is my plan for tomorrow. If it changes, I'll let you know, but if you see a clip of me tomorrow wearing that, then you'll know that I stuck with it. So that's it. I'm going to stop talking because I have work that I need to do, and I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Hello. What time is it? Hi there. It's about 1:10. 1:10, 1:15. Don't mind all the chaos that's going on outside. That's what it sounds like after school in my classroom. But I'm checking in really quickly now because I doubt that I'll be able to check in at any other point during the day. We have parent-teacher conferences obviously today, but today is the late day, and on the late days they have the conferences either in the what is this? Either in the gym or the cafeteria. And so for us, 8th grade, I believe it's in the cafeteria. So I'm getting ready to head over there in about 10 minutes or so. But as far as today is concerned, the language live rotations went a little bit better. Still not perfect, a little bumpy, but at least I pulled a group. That was the success, is that I pulled a group. Oh, I don't know what this is doing. I pulled a group. We just about finished, but the fact that I pulled one group instead of two means now I have to make some more adjustments. The other technical issue is I wanted to assign videos for students to watch on vocabulary, but I can't because I don't have a school account. And so I'm wondering if there's some way for me to convince the school to get a school account. That's a long shot, but we'll see. And then in my core classes for social studies and language arts, we mostly just did social studies today. With my homeroom class, I had to take them to the book fair, so then the time I would have used for language arts was gone. And then with my switch class, the same thing of like, well, I didn't want to put them too far ahead of the homeroom class. So they were behind with one thing, so we got caught up in the time that they had that my homeroom class didn't have, if that makes sense. But they both did a social studies activity that I felt like went really well. It's a Teachers Pay Teachers product, and I'll be sure to link it in the description box, or I will be sure to make a concerted effort to remember to link it. And at first I was a little unsure of this activity because the directions, the way that they're written to me, are not very clear. So it took me a minute to kind of figure out like the steps and what we're doing and all of that. But we just finished up a section in social studies where the kids are learning about like the events and the causes that led up to the Revolutionary War. And one of those things is just the whole concept of mercantilism and the navigation laws that were passed that put restrictions on how colonists were importing and exporting goods. And so the purpose of this activity is you give kids this first paper of raw materials. Now on the product, it tells you to cut all these little, hold on, someone's at my door. All right, sorry about that. There was some drama with the student who is volunteering for leadership. I think I got that straightened out. So I think what I was saying is on this page, this is a set of 3 raw goods. So the students are supposed to put themselves in the position of a colonist. They've harvested all these raw goods that they're going to be exporting. And what I had them do, instead of having me cut these little pieces of paper up and having them cut it, is I just had them number each set of 3. And then I told them whatever your class number is, that's the set of raw materials that you're going to be focusing on. So if I'm student number 1, this is my set of raw materials. If I'm student number 2, this is my set, and so on. And so once they know their raw materials, then they take this paper, and there's another paper that I need. They take this paper, here we go, and this paper, and based on the raw materials they have, they look here first and decide which of these countries, just the top half, which of these countries do you want to export or sell your goods to. So I told them when I did this for myself, hi, I'm gonna head over in a second. It's okay. That when I did this for myself, I looked at what raw material I had the most of, and I looked for the country that was going to give me the highest price for it, and that's how I chose it. So I chose Spain, which ends up being what a lot of students choose. And so then they calculate how much money they're going to make. So if they are, so for example, they have 100 logs, they're going to calculate how much money they're going to make for those 100 logs based on the price per unit. So they total up the amount they're going to make for each of the 3 items to come up with a grand total that they'll put in this little blank right here. And then I say this is how much money you have to spend when it comes to importing things. So then I let them like live in the moment and feel like they have some money to work with. And then I said, oh, but who remembers what the navigation law said? And they, some of them, remembered that it placed restrictions on imports and exports, and then that really you're only going to be able to export and import from England. And so then they have to go back and do the same thing on their little worksheet the second time. So here they do this section, and instead of putting whatever country they want to sell to there, they put England. And then they go back to the same sell price and now calculate how much money they're going to make in total, given the fact that they're only able to sell it to England. What ends up happening is everybody has a drastically different amount of money, drastically less amount of money to work with, and then that makes it more difficult for them to buy the finished goods that they need to buy that are also assigned to them. So on the back of the raw materials list, I ran the finished goods list. Same thing, had them number it. Whatever their classroom number is, that was the corresponding set of finished goods that they needed to buy. And a lot of the kids realize I don't have enough money to buy what I need based on the amount of money that I brought in from my sales to England. And then they have 3 questions at the bottom that is asking them, you know, did you have enough money? What made it difficult for you to buy the finished goods that you needed? And then generally speaking, how are you feeling? So at the end, my class, when I said, okay, everybody, how are you feeling about England? They gave a resounding boo to England. So both classes had a good time with it. I did let them use these little basic calculators. So that was a great resource. They enjoyed it. I feel like it brought the concept to life. And that was as far as we got. If I have time later, and if not later today, I'll show it tomorrow because we didn't finish. We're also going to be talking about making inferences, and there's just weird noises happening in my classroom, and I'm tying in a Frida Kahlo book that I'm reading, or that I've read to them. So I spoke really fast. Hopefully that all made sense, but I need to head out because I have to go do some conferences, and I will probably see you tomorrow. So I am home. It's probably a little bit after 7 o'clock. I left work at 6:45, which is crazy because school actually was out at 1 o'clock. And my last conference ended probably somewhere between 4:30, not 4:30, I'm sorry, 3:30 and 4 o'clock. So I have been in my classroom working from 4 to just about 7. And I just posted something on Instagram about it, but like I said on Instagram, I'm sure some of you think that is crazy. It's Friday, why would you be there that late? But the good news is I am planned for the next 2 weeks. And I have notes about copies I need to make and all of that, so I feel very prepared. I updated my grades. I'm pretty much caught up on physical grading, and I'm home. There's a couple of things I could do before I'd like completely say I'm done for the weekend, but even if I don't do those things, I can always do them next week. And so I feel great because I know on Saturday and Sunday, I don't have this looming dread hanging over me because there are some things that I have to absolutely do to be ready for school on Monday or even next week. So I'm going to really try and commit to just following this same strategy, which is something I did a few years ago. I did this. I just stayed really late and did what I needed to do. And I think this week was a little bit more challenging because my schedule was interrupted with like having to meet with parents for conferences. So I'm feeling really good about that. As far as the day of teaching is concerned, didn't get through as much as I wanted to. Neither class were we able to open up our core lit books because there was something we needed to finish first. So that is frustrating. But I didn't want to like have those things that we needed to finish hanging over the weekend. So we didn't get to that. But next week is a new week. And we're done with conference week. There are parents that didn't show up, despite the fact that we sent out flyers, email reminders. So I don't know how much effort my partner and I are going to go like track these parents down to meet up with them, because some parents just don't feel the need to have a conference. And I think especially so the older their kids get. So in my mind, I'm pretty much done. The other thing, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the one downfall so far of middle school is that I don't get a lot of response when I elicit or ask for things to be donated for the class. Like, I get pretty much no response. I have a couple parents that I think will donate, especially Sophie's mom, because I've known her for years and she's just very nice that way. But I literally just asked for a couple rolls of wrapping paper and I didn't get any. And I really need it for this art project, so that makes me sad. But anyway, I'm tired. I don't really have anything to say. I'm ready to just relax, put on some pajamas, and just enjoy the weekend. So I'm going to end the vlog here. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure that you do. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, head on over there and do that. And aside from that, I hope all is well, and I will see you guys next week. So see you then.